Welcome, Kentucky Realtors. I am David Michonski, and I'm the CEO of Quigler. Quigler is a 2018 Reach company. We were chosen as one of 8 out of over 1,000 companies last year in May of 2018. Now, you may also remember that it was in May of 2018 that NAR's issued this dictum, which said the recommendation from the leadership team that NAR take an aggressive role in ensuring that boards and state associations meet their obligation to enforce the Code of Ethics. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but those two things happened in the same month. Over the subsequent months with NAR and Quigler have ended up signing an agreement. NAR licensed its Code of Ethics to Quigler so that we could utilize our application's functionality to provide all realtors with a free realtor benefit. And I'm going to talk to you about that today. Now, what that benefit provides them is not just a free benefit, but a number of other benefits. What it provides all agents is a mentor and a guide telling them what the code requires at every step of a transaction. And therefore, they and their clients feel more secure knowing that the agent is acting ethically. It helps enhance the agent's value proposition because 97% of consumers say they want honesty and integrity in an agent. And now it can be demonstrated to them because the agent can invite a buyer or seller to come into the transaction with them and follow along from beginning to end and know that their agent is complying with the code. And we all know that when they comply with the code, they're also complying with federal laws and with state laws. And that provides all agents a very unique and unprecedented communication and notification tool. I'll show you in this presentation. And it provides a tool in order to create trust in consumers. And I think we all know far more valuable than every Zillow lead that you can buy is if you can have trust. When an agent reaches a point in their career that they have the consumer's trust, they have gold because they have the gift that keeps on giving. Trust is the biggest and greatest lead generator in history, and this app is going to help agents to develop that trust. All right, so that led to 2 realtor benefits. The first one is the NAR Code Only app, which I will show you right now. That is free for all boards everywhere in the United States, and all you have to do is give it out to your members and send them to the website that I'll show you in a second. And then there is a second benefit that comes with the board itself should you choose to enter into a co-marketing agreement with us, and then there's a profit share arrangement. I'll end with that later as we get through. So initially you would send everybody to the NAR, Quigler.com/NAR code, and they would log in, and we start them on something called Test Drive. This is just a chance for them to have practice on Quigler. And Test Drive just asks 2 questions. What kind of a transaction do you want, a seller or a buyer? And then what kind of property? Is it single, condo, co-op? We then reach into our database, they click finish, and up pops on the top of the screen all the steps of that particular type of transaction. And they range from pre-listing activities to the agency discussion, compensation, listing agreement, disclosures, marketing, showings, offers, offer contract, and escrow closing. Now, under each one of the steps are the specific actions associated with it, and they are just yes or no questions. You can see it right here. Now, what you need to know about Quigler is it is just like the C2X program. It is not a test. It's not trying to catch anybody doing something wrong. It is trying to guide agents. It's a mentor, because if an agent were to answer incorrectly, up pops a stop sign like this, which tells them what to do, so that they are always answering yes. They are always compliant. Again, it's a mentor or a guide to always keep them in compliance with the code. All right, now there are other bells and whistles. For instance, what will my client see? They can click on that if they want to know in advance what kind of notifications their clients getting. But perhaps most importantly is the Y tab. This is where an agent actually learns the code in a revolutionary way, because now the code isn't something they're just doing every 2 years. They're inserting it into their transactions, and if they want to know why they need to do it, we give them the exact citation from the code. NAR's legal department instructed us this is how they wanted us to cite it, so that every single action the agent can click on Y and find out why it's required. They can also find out what the penalties are, and we tell them what the penalties are. And then we have some professional tips that we exchange to help agents to perform these actions. Now, that was a test drive, and that's just practice. An agent is then invited to, once they get comfortable with test drive, which by the way takes about 2 times is our experience, they just go and enter a new transaction. And when they do, this is where they can invite their client in. And now they could keep the transaction private to them, but that defeats all the purposes of making sure that the client knows how ethically compliant they are being. So they should click shared with the client. And when they do that, and after they've filled out some information about who the client is, we send the client an email. And basically we introduce them to that agent, and we say that that agent has invited you to a transaction, and we give a little ad for the agent saying that they're now going to provide that consumer with transaction transparency, constant communication, and unprecedented accountability. And we tell them to accept the invitation, and then they fill out the box with their detailed information, which is just name, first name, last name, and an email. And then we explain to them that they will now get this tremendous communication in the form of these communications on their dashboard. When the client clicks on one of these notification bells, what they get is the agent's name. In this case, there are 2 agents, a buy-sell. I'm on the sell side, and they're going to have the exact step and what actions the agent has completed. When they click on them, the actions open up. Now notice, we are encouraging the consumer to always agree. We ask them to read it and then agree. Did the agent do this? And they can agree to all actions, or they can agree to just all steps. When they do, the actions move on the transaction dashboard here from open to completed and now to agreed. Completed means that the agent said they did them. Agreed means that the consumer agrees they did them. And then underneath, you'll see it says, when they click on it, that the agent did the following and that the consumer agreed it was done. Now, the bomb that we've got here for agents is that they can export all these agreed actions, either step by step or all of them at once. And they look like this. And basically, they're sequential. They'll start with step 1 and go to step 10. And they'll time-stamped and dated say that your agent did the following at such and such time, and then that you agreed they did it. Now, the agent can then take all of these, put them on a clipboard, put them on their stationery, and they can issue an update letter. They can do that every 2 weeks. They can do that every month. They can do that at the end of the transaction, whatever they want. But now, for the first time, we're creating an automated update letter for them that they can send out to their clients. That's going to help those clients to understand not only process knowledge, give them incredible transparency into the transaction, but it helps to defend the agent's value proposition that they're honest and have integrity. If an agent needs help, they can just go out. We've got lots of ways for them to get it. And then there's something else I just want to show you, which is the ethics checklist. This is everything that does not belong in the transaction because it's not transaction oriented, but that agents are required to do. So we have a checklist for them to go through. It takes them 7 or 8 minutes. And these are those other duties that we have to our nation, to our communities, to fellow realtors. And they just click them. There's nothing here yes or no because they've all agreed to do this. It's just a reminder. It takes them through. And then if they want to know why they have to do it, they click the Y tab. It pops up. And then when they're done, they click save. Now, we give them a little incentive because if they were to have a public profile, which by the way is not included in the free NAR code plan, this is a $99 a year upgrade, they get an A grade associated with their name. It's their first A grade for completing the ethical checklist. Okay, so let's now go to what is in this for you. First, All boards in the United States are given the free NAR code only application. So you can just send everybody out to the website that I gave you, and it's theirs. And a certain number of those agents for whom you do that are going to want an upgrade. They're going to want to appear on Quigler. They're going to want an A grade associated with them. And they may want more than just the code. They may want federal law, which is available in all 50 states and to everybody in Kentucky. And then eventually they will want the state law. So we have various upgrades that they can purchase from us, and they'll be solicited to do that. But if they choose not to, they always revert back to just the NAR code free version. Now, we therefore have co-marketing agreements with any board who wants to have one. And there's no cost to a co-marketing agreement. You just sign it with us. They're a year. And what everybody in your board gets is not just the free NAR code app. They get a 30-day free trial. They get a profile. They get federal law, and they get a chance to try it on for size. Also, your board, if you have your own school or if you have a favorite school, we will license the 2 CE courses that we have done on the code. And I wish I had time to show you those because they are just unprecedented. Instead of every 2 years, agents come in, they see exactly what we just did, but it's on a screen for 3 hours. They learn everything about Quigler, and they understand how they can now incorporate this into their daily business. Now, the CE revenue to the board from those courses, we do take a 5 cents of every dollar. That's simply to cover the Amazon Web Services fees for the traffic we're generating. But we do offer back a 10% profit share to boards on upgrades. Any agent who decides to upgrade to one of our plans, you get 10% back. And what we've found is that agents are far more likely to purchase an upgrade after they take the CE course. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's Quigler. Thank you for your time.